Welcome back to Movies TV Mad. You can follow me on X Twitter at Movies TV Mad and on Instagram and on Threads at Movies TV Mad X. Well, I'm outside today. Welcome to the Movies TV Mad Daily. I hope you're having a great morning. It won't be morning by the time you see this video. Maybe it will be. But anyway, today, yes, we are outside. Yes, we are outside. So let me explain this to you. I was going to dive into the video, but first I want to explain to you where we are. I've done a video outside before. My loyal viewers will know what this is. So right here, I'm sitting on the kitchen balcony of one house. This is where we do, I don't live here, this is where we do the rehearsals. I have an amateur dramatic society, I have my own theatre here in Iron Napa. We are developing and rehearsing my original story, Saving Judy Garland. So this is where me and my amateur dramatic society come and do that. I write, direct, perform the plays myself, and I work with my amateur dramatic society. Now behind me is actually the home that I actually live in. So this is the situation. So I know there's a lot of rumours that I live in the attic, in my mum's attic or something, and I'm banging, let me out, but I'm not. So this is the reality, right? I'm moving, it's not a fake background. If you want, I can go. Actually, do you want me to go and touch that tree? So you know it's not fake, right? Wait there. Can you see? Can you see? Can you see it's real? Right, okay. I don't know if you can see if it was real. Whoa! Smoking makes you out of breath. Don't do it. Damn relaxing though if people wind you up all day. Anyway, where were we? So we are outside. That's confirmed. This is the geography of where I live. So, let's talk about James Gunn yet again. Because I believe James Gunn never wanted to direct Superman. I've already explained this to you on lives and previous videos. Because here's the thing. Here's the history again of how James Gunn got involved with Superman. He wanted to do the Suicide Squad. He'd been fired temporarily by Disney. He didn't know it was temporarily at the time, or did he? Who knows? Maybe they just said, look, we're going to pretend we're going to fire you, then we're going to bring you back. Who knows? You can't trust these people, can you? Anyway, he came to Warner Brothers. Hamada, like Emmerich, everyone wanted him. So he wanted to do a Suicide Squad movie. But secretly, they said, you're not getting anything unless you agree to write a Superman film. Because everyone at WB, like a lot of people out there now, think that James Gunn is movie Jesus. I don't think he is. I think he's good. But he's not movie Jesus, as I've explained before. I don't dislike James Gunn anyway. He agreed to write a Superman movie after he was done with the Suicide Squad. So he got the movie that he wanted, but he had to write a Superman movie. He never agreed to direct it because he never wanted to commit himself. As he said when he confirmed he was directing the movie, he didn't want to commit himself to a movie that he wasn't that invested in. He kind of said that. I mean, maybe I'll find the statement later on, because the statement wasn't a surprise to me. So, what happened was, after the Suicide Squad, he said that he wasn't going to make theatrical movies so much. He was going to focus on streaming and television because that was his passion. Basically, the Suicide Squad had just flopped and he was trying to readjust his position. Suddenly, it was announced that he would be the co-CEO of DC Studios along with Peter Safran, a man that had already been involved with the DCEU. Yeah, nothing suspicious about that then. I like Peter, by the way. He's got a good manner about him. But it was all very, very dodgy. Anyway, so they announced that Superman would be the first project. He called it Superman Legacy, if you can remember. But he wasn't committing to directing the picture, and nobody knew. So all of a sudden there was loads of rumours, Peter Jackson, Steven Spielberg. Of course we all got excited, never going to happen. And there's no, I don't think there's any point of Peter Jackson or Steven Spielberg directing a picture written by James Gunn. Because it's not going to really be a Steven Spielberg or Peter Jackson picture. And those guys ain't going to come in to direct somebody else's vision. They're going to come in with their own people to do something, that they wanted to do. I mean, a movie, a Superman movie by Peter Jackson or Steven Spielberg, even George Lucas. Fucking amazing. Was never going to happen. You know, us Superman fans and DC fans are not that fucking lucky. Let's be honest about that. Remember when Mel Gibson was going to do a Suicide Squad movie? I would have much rather have seen a Suicide Squad movie by Mel Gibson than James Gunn. Again, I don't have any issues with James. I'm just being honest about my preferences. So Peter Safran began to pressure James Gunn into, committing to direct Superman Legacy, as it was called at the time. But James didn't want to commit to it. As I already said, he didn't want to be committed to a movie for 2 years that he wasn't that invested in. So basically, he never really wanted to direct Superman and was kind of pushed into it. It was his story anyway. Makes sense that he directs it. But if you're not invested in something, if you don't want to do something, how good are your efforts going to be? Now, I'm not saying he would purposely kibosh the movie and not do his best job. Of course, he's tried his best. But ultimately, he doesn't want to be there. So why are we talking about this again? Because he posted about his excitement over on the set of Peacemaker 2, how great it is and fun it is to be directing Peacemaker, where on Superman it's a big set. He didn't call directing Superman fun, but he called directing Peacemaker 2 fun. So that tells you everything you need to know. James Gunn's kind of perfect situation are stories like Peacemaker, The Authority, Guardians, The Suicide Squad, Waller. He's not invested in characters like Superman. I've been saying this for the longest of time. So considering, look, I think it's a factual statement to say, and I don't know how James would react to this. I think he would say, well, no, it's not that I didn't want to direct it, but mate, you didn't want to direct the picture. You were kind of arm wrestled into writing Superman in the first place. So if you don't really want to do something, if your heart's not really in it, because it's not like stacking shelves at the co-op. This is art. This is film. So, when you're in that situation, your heart has to be in it. You have to want to do it. So considering that he was kind of forced into writing a Superman movie, then pressured into directing a Superman movie, how good is this film going to be? Comments down below. Let me know, because I'm very interested what you think about this situation. And please like, share and subscribe. Let's get this channel growing, man. It's a very basic channel. I don't edit. I go on a bit for half an hour every day. I know I'm not everybody's cup of tea, but come on. Even if do you see what I'm doing here? I'm leaning like this. It's not cool. No wonder nobody wants to bloody follow my channel. When I did my bite-sized video, a bloody lizard came under my feet. I was like this. Oh my God, I look like a right wuss. Oh my God. Anyway, so it's my opinion he never wanted to direct this movie. So, because he's more of an independent director. He does like these smaller projects. So, and it's interesting, isn't it? Bryan Singer, an independent movie director, did X-Men. But he made X-Men like an independent movie. But then he had this big, kind of huge budget for Superman Returns. And it was too big for him. And I think he kind of spent his money in the wrong places. I mean, listen to this. I mean, you know about the Return to Krypton sequence, right? That cost millions. God knows how many millions that actually cost. And then they didn't put it in the movie. I don't think that was Singer's choice, because that should have been a pre-title sequence. Because it explains everything. Why he's been gone for 5 years. It's the core of the bloody synopsis and the story. It's, from the depth of the ocean, the synopsis writes, to the outer reaches of space. So, and then you cut that. So Singer had this big budget, and I think he didn't, as an independent director, I think sometimes you get it wrong, because all of a sudden you've got all these toys and you're not used to using them. Now, James Gunn, of course, has worked on huge movies. The Guardians movies were huge. The Marvel Cinematic Universe is huge, and there's no messing about there. There's actually a fly on my camera now. So this is going to be annoying. So if I start going like this, it's because these flies are trying to eat me alive. I knew I shouldn't have done the video, but I thought I'd brag about where I live, because I love it. I don't live in an attic. I don't live in my mum's cellar. So I thought I'd prove it once and for all. Anyway, So James Gunn is a previous independent director, but he has experience on big movies. But as we've discussed before, Guardians isn't Superman. There's a different pressure to making Superman, let alone if you don't really want to be there in the first place. I think that's my number one concern here. And already while he was shooting Superman, he was not jetting, but going off to the set at Burbank for Peacemaker 2 at the weekend and coming back during the week to finish off Superman. And again, I've said in a video all on its own that I don't think that's a good idea because I don't think you need to be experienced. Imagine, I'm running a shop, right? But there's another shop. But instead of getting a regional manager, I'm running from two shops, checking on them. Something's got to give. Something's going to suffer. There's going to be a problem with quality control in the end. I mean, look, James does like to, do a lot of things. He's a very hard worker, right? And he can multitask, and I get it. But I don't think it was a good idea to be working on two projects at the same time. He was asked the other day about doing reshoots, and he says he very rarely does a lot of reshoots. He may do a little bit, but he said he over prepares. He makes sure he's got the right people to do their jobs efficiently. And actually, he's very efficient when he makes a movie. Oh, look, he's a good, solid writer. He's a good, solid filmmaker. I'm not one of those people who hates James Gunn. I'm just telling you, when a director comes publicly and says, I've just finished making Superman, now I'm going to go and do this fun thing. So in other words, you weren't enjoying making a Superman film. And I think you've got to enjoy making a Superman movie. Because Dick Donner, he was under a lot of pressure for Superman 78, and he was shooting two movies at the same time. But Dick Donner had a good time making Superman 78. He loved the character. He was passionate about doing the film properly. It was in his heart. It was in his veins. It was in his soul. And you could tell. And this is why Siegel and Schuster presented him with a Superman statue. This actually happened in one of the premieres, red carpets, of Superman 78. And he cried. And Siegel cried and Schuster cried. Right? So Dick was very proud of what he achieved. And he could have achieved so much more with 2, 3, and 4. Because that was the plan from Tom Mankiewicz, who doesn't get the love. Tom Mankiewicz was a big part. He rewrote the entirety of Superman 78, and they were a partnership, Dick and Tom. Sounds like something on CBBC, right? But they were amazing. So there was passion there, right? I don't know, Richard Lester, who did Superman 2 and Superman 3, how much passion he had for Superman. But I will say one thing. Superman 2, the reshoots were well shot. The way they did it was okay, and I enjoy Superman 2, right? And Superman 3, despite the hate it gets, it's an enjoyable movie. I like the idea of the supercomputer. I thought Richard Pryor was fucking hilarious. Both keys at the same time. Love it. Brilliant. I don't know why people hate Superman 3. It's different, but it's still cool. But 2 and 3 and 4, which was the plan from Dick Donner and Tom Mankiewicz, would have been much better under their supervision. There's no question about that. And again, Superman fans lost out. There is a part of me that feels, I'm losing my sandals here, but there is a part of me that feels that we are losing something by James Gunn making, writing, and directing a Superman movie. He could make a really, really good, interesting Superman movie. I may go to the cinema and love it. I may not. I've said from the beginning, I'm not going to commit myself before I've seen something, not even a trailer. I've given my thoughts on the costume. I'm not impressed thus far. It may be better when we see it in the movie. It may not actually be the actual costume. Because to be honest with you, it looks like a fucking mess. I don't think it's even debatable. It looks like a mess. But maybe it's not really his costume. Maybe there's something else going on here. And maybe they'll fix it in post, which is something we've discussed. Who knows? That's what Zack Snyder said as well. Basically, Zack Snyder going around the table, pretty much not liking it. Nobody likes it. No one's going to look at that costume, right? Even James Gunn's family, brothers, I think he's got brothers. Nobody's going to say that suit looks good at this point. But something may happen for that to be fixed. So the jury is out on James Gunn's Superman movie. There's shills out there. My issue with shills, because you see them, oh my god, this is going to be amazing. Don't forget James Gunn was the guy who told us last year's The Flash movie was going to be the best movie we'd ever seen. He sat there on Michael Rosenbaum's podcast as well, inside of you, because they're good friends. And, you know the kind of respect and adulation, and majestic love I have for Michael Rosenbaum, especially because he played Lex Luthor, but he's a fun guy. I like the Smallville podcast, Talkville, and he's brilliant. But he's friends with James Gunn, so there is a bias there, unfortunately. But he sat on Inside of You and he said this was going to be, the Flash movie was going to be great. And he interfered with Aquaman, which was going to be a much better movie. He didn't interfere with Blue Beetle. And then there was the decision to shelve Batgirl, a decision I supported at the time, but I don't now. Listen, this is what happened. When I heard it was a bad movie, I believed them. I believed Zaslav. But then I was given the opportunity to watch Batgirl, as I've mentioned before. It was the best DCEU movie out of all of them. So it's better than Aquaman 2, The Lost Kingdom, The Lost Morality more like, better than The Flash, better than Blue Beetle, better than Shazam Fury of the Gods. Batgirl was better than all of them. And they shelved it. It's a good film. It's a bit like, basically, how can I describe Batgirl? I know we're supposed to be talking about James Gunn, but we're talking about DC, we're talking about movies. I am movies TV mad, I can change the subject for a few seconds. I would compare Batgirl to Batman Beyond. When you hear rumours saying that they were going to make a Batman Beyond movie, I've told you before, Batgirl was the Batman Beyond movie. You've got Keaton's Batman as a mentor, training her. She is the Roy character, and I forgot his surname, right? Sue me. Don't sue me, I can't afford it. Even though it looks like I can. Just because you've got expensive property, it don't mean, the money isn't in the pocket, the money's in the properties. Anyway, woo, it's exciting going. I love doing this. This is cool. I'm so buzzing. I haven't smoked any weed. I haven't drunk anything yet today. So yeah, this is fun. So yeah, Batgirl is not the best CBM ever, but it was good. And everyone played their roles. Yeah, there was a lot of diversity, which there's nothing wrong with. I don't have anything wrong with diversity. I don't have anything against diversity, should I say. We've discussed that before. But you shouldn't be replacing one culture for another culture. Everyone should be standing together. And everyone who's in picture should be as talented as the other people. That's good diversity. And the diverse actors and characters should have as stronger writing as the white guys have always had. These are my rules around diversity. So Batgirl was a very good film. And Gunn, Safran, and Zaslav decided that movie should be cancelled. That's anti-entertainment, everyone. That's anti-cinema. And it's wrong. And it's not the only film they've done it to. So he's bragging about not having to do many reshoots. No, because no one's going to interfere with your movie and order reshoots, because Zaslav can't fuck with Gunn at this point. Gunn is a director. He wants to do what he wants at the end of the day. You can't start messing around saying do this, do that. And Zaslav's not going to do that. Safran is kind of the production head. He's the one keeping an eye on Gunn. But basically they're running this thing together. And until there's a flop, Gunn's under no pressure. If there's a flop, then the same thing that happened to Zack will happen to Gunn. And you're going to be saying, well, it's Groundhog Day. So we'll see. I still don't think, basically, box office potential-wise, that Superman has as much potential than Fantastic Four, Jurassic World. I don't even know the release dates. I know those films are around. At this moment in time, are being released around Superman. Busy year next year, everyone, and money doesn't grow on trees. Yeah, people say, well, you can see what, you don't have to just watch one film. The money isn't there. The money isn't there. But it's interesting. People do seem to find money for good movies. At the moment, you've got Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool and Wolverine just crossed $1 billion. Congratulations to Vancity Reynolds, which is his tag on social media. He works very hard. He pushed for this movie. He's so passionate about everything. He's a great lad. And, I am happy for him. Um, and then you've got his wife, right, whose name escapes me. Obviously, she was in the Green Lantern movie with him. That's how they met. But her movie, which is kind of a love story, you know, is doing really well. So what you're seeing here, two movies doing well, because these are the types of movies people want to see. So movie going hasn't really changed that much. You give people a heterosexual love story, yes, with two attractive people, right, with bodies, sweaty bodies and stuff, but it's a love story and it works. People rush to see it. You give people a blockbuster they really want to see, they rush to see it. Nothing's changed in the entertainment industry. And I've told you before, it isn't just the straight people who want to see the heterosexual love story, it's everybody else. I think more gay people and trans people are more liable to watch a straight love story, right? Then I don't know why. Because why didn't that bros, that gay rom-com, why didn't it make any money? Why weren't even gay people interested in going to see that? It's a question that no one's willing to answer. So what we're seeing here is, with all the kind of wokeness and all the kind of, oh, we've got to have more of this, and every part of society has got to see themselves on the big screen. That's not the point. You don't want to go and see yourself. You want to see a character that you wish you was, right? So I wish I was Marty McFly. I wish I was Christopher Reeve's Superman. I wish I was Roger Moore's James Bond. I wish I was Tom Cruise's Maverick in Top Gun as a kid, right? I wish I was David Tennant's Doctor. I wish I was Christopher Eccleston's Doctor. I even wish I was Peter Capaldi's Doctor, right? I always wanted to play the Doctor. I'm a big Who fan. Still a dream. I'm still not giving up on that, by the way. But, so, nobody really wants to go and see themselves. There's like 2% of lunatics who are saying they do. But the truth is, when you sit in that cinema, it's a portal to another world. It's what you wished. It's a world you wish you were in, right? It's like my story, Saving Judy Garland. It's about a Judy Garland fan who is taken by a tornado to 1938 during the production of The Wizard of Oz. In my story, he is the biggest Judy Garland fan. He's basically me. I want to play the character in a movie, but I will be playing the character in my theatre production. And that's what I'm telling you. It's wish fulfillment. That's what movies and TV drama is. So, yeah, there's that. So if we circle this back to James Gunn in the last 8 minutes of this video, we have a very interesting situation, because I am very, very fascinated by Superman, this movie. Now, as you know, Superman's my character, Superman's my man, Superman's my dude. I've always, it's always been about Superman for me, as you all know. I've been doing these videos since July 2018. So those of you who have been here from the beginning, by the way, if you've been here since July 2018, thank you. Thank you, because it's boring, ugly, 51-year-old dude doesn't edit his videos, and you people have stayed with me since 2018. That's amazing. I'm not just saying, it's not lip service. Thank you. If you've stuck by me since 2018, since the first video, thank you. If you've stuck by me for any length of time, thank you. Because that's brilliant. Because you've been on a journey with me. You've seen me mourn my parents, both of them, nearly back to back, where I tried to do videos, and then you saw recently where, yes, I fell in love with someone on social media, and it fucked with my brain, and I wasn't doing as many videos. And you probably noticed then, when I did the videos, it wasn't the old Mick, but you stuck by me. And I think it's not just about people on social media talking about film, sport. It's about the human side. I think when you see me, you see a human being with his own problems, but passionate about the entertainment industry and has knowledge of the industry and tries to impart that knowledge onto you. So anyway, thank you everyone who's always been nice. We've disagreed. It's okay to disagree. You know me. We've done lives, and we will go back to those lives eventually, right? But it's about interacting with each other, right? I'm not making any money out of this, as you know. I've been doing this since 2018, so my math's shit, 19, 20, 21. That's 5 years, right? Over 5 years. And I haven't made any money. I never thought I would. I never thought this channel would be successful. But I've had successful videos, and, you know, I get what? From 50 to 70. I mean, there's a Doctor Who video that's got 336 views. Thanks for that. I think my Doctor Who videos seem to garner more views, which is interesting, but I'll never stop doing DC or anything in entertainment or anything I want to talk about. We talked about Manchester United before. Anyway, let's go back to James Gunn. It's my opinion, and no one can change my mind. He never really wanted to write a Superman movie, and he never really wanted to direct one. So this is what I'm saying. I'm fascinated by this whole situation. Will it be a good movie? Will it be a successful movie? These are the things. What will it be? Is he capable? And as I said the other day, can he make a better Superman movie than Superman 78 and Man of Steel, which are my equally two favourite Superman films of all time? I don't know. I genuinely don't know. I don't see how he can, but maybe he will. Maybe he's delivered a Superman film finally for the modern era where everyone says, wow, this is better than Superman 78. This is the new classic. Can he do that? Well, there has to be certain parameters for that to work. Superman and Clark have to be the main guys. It has to be about this character. If he's bringing these DC characters and they dominate the movie and Superman's just a background character, which I'm sure James wouldn't be stupid enough to do, then he hasn't made a good Superman movie. He's not going to beat what Donna did. The love story between Lois Lane is a difficult balancing act because if you're not careful, you can make her into a hateful bitch. By the way, they've done that in the comics before. So you've got to be careful with Lois. She's lippy, she's passionate, but ultimately she's a journalist because she cares about protecting the public by informing them about corruption, like the corruption with Lex Luthor, which I think she'll be doing a lot in the movie. These are the parameters. The film has to be romantic. One of the things that Man of Steel lacks, and I still love Man of Steel, it's not a romantic film. Yes, it deals with the love story between Clark, Lois, and Superman, but it's not a love story. The movie isn't a love story. Where Superman 78 is an origin story, it's a love story, it's a Superman story, and this is what James Gunn's Superman must be. But he's already discussed that this is not just about good versus evil. There's something else here in this movie. It's about a good guy in a world full of bad people who don't trust good guys. And that's what he's doing. So that's interesting. He's no mug. There's no question. James Gunn is no mug. So I'm not going to sit here and say to you, well, he didn't really want to write the movie. He really didn't want to direct the movie. So definitely it's going to be shit. I'm not saying that. I'm just asking the question. This is not what he wanted. But, make no bones about it, he wanted to do the Suicide Squad. That's why he agreed to write Superman. And he wanted to be co-CEO of DC Studios. So this is why he agreed to direct the picture. Otherwise, he would have been in a bit of trouble with Safran and Zaslav. Because they see his name as ticket selling. They see James Gunn as people. There are people who love James Gunn and believe in James Gunn. But what we're going to see through this movie is how much of a ticket seller is he? Don't forget, this was the guy who promoted all of last year's DCEU movies, apart from Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, because he fell out with James Wan, and they told him to keep, just leave it, just let it die. So he was pushing for the other DCEU movies. Did it help? No. Because every one of the DCEU movies he helped promote last year, he was at the red carpets, right? Flopped. Which tells you James Gunn doesn't have that much pull, or does it just tell you that people had lost faith in the DCEU? Snyder had gone, all his fans had boycotted the DCEU, and then, fans heard there was a new franchise coming. There was just no interest in the DCEU, even if James Gunn was promoting it. So, as I say, this whole thing with James Gunn is an absolute interesting experiment. To me and you, it's interesting and it's exciting. But to WB, it's fucking serious. Because this, as I said the other day and keep on saying, and I want to keep on hammering this point home to you, that this film is a launch pad for a franchise that can make them hundreds and millions and billions, right? And it can't fail. It cannot fail. There is real pressure here. This is not a joke. They're doing this to save a dying studio.